You thought this was it. The one. The job, the project. The path that would define everything. But what happens when it all falls apart? Suddenly, the floor gives way, and you're free falling. How do you even begin to find your footing when the ground you stood on has vanished? This isn't just about bouncing back. It's about discovering a strength you never knew you had. Stick with me, and we'll walk through this together. Not just to survive the fall, but to learn how to fly from it. The email lands with a thud you feel in your chest. Restructuring. New direction. The words are cold, corporate, a sterile mask for the brutal message they carry. You're out. The room tilts. The screen blurs. Your breath catches in your throat. It's a punch to the gut, a disconnect between the reality on the screen and the reality you've lived and breathed every single day. The projects you poured your soul into, the late nights, the early mornings, the colleagues who became like family, it all evaporates in an instant, reduced to a formal, impersonal farewell. You close the laptop, but you can't close off the deafening silence that follows. The silence is heavy, filled with the unspoken question. What now? Your mind rewinds, a frantic film reel of the past few years. Remember the excitement of that first day? The pride in your voice as you told your family and friends you got the job. You can still feel the weight of the tasks you mastered, the thrill of deadlines met, and the quiet satisfaction of a project completed. You picture the faces of your team, the shared inside jokes over coffee, the collaborative energy in a packed meeting room. You gave it your all. You sacrificed weekends, pushed through exhaustion, and believed in the mission. You weren't just clocking in and out. You were building something, contributing to something bigger than yourself. It wasn't just a job. It was a huge piece of your identity. You poured your ambition, your creativity, and your hope into those walls. And now, it feels like that part of you has been surgically removed without anesthesia. The days that follow blur into a murky gray. The initial shock gives way to a deep, gnawing ache. You wake up, and for a fleeting moment, you forget. Then the weight of it crashes down on you all over again. The alarm on your phone, once the start of a busy day, is now a mocking reminder of a routine that no longer exists. You scroll through social media, a minefield of other people's successes. Promotions, new ventures, happy team photos, each one a small, sharp sting. Self-doubt creeps in, a cold, insidious whisper. Was it me? Was I not good enough? The questions spiral, pulling you deeper into a vortex of what-ifs and if-onlys. Some days, just getting out of bed feels like a monumental victory. The future, once a bright landscape of possibilities, now looks like a dense, impenetrable fog. You feel lost, invisible, and profoundly alone in your failure. The world keeps spinning, but you're stuck, suspended in the suffocating quiet of your own personal abyss. Then, one morning, something shifts. Maybe it as a sliver of sunlight cutting through the blinds in a way you've never noticed before. Or a text from a friend, not asking how you are, but sharing a stupid meme that makes you genuinely smile for the first time in weeks. It's a tiny crack in the darkness, a single note of music in the suffocating silence. You find yourself walking outside, not to escape, but just to feel the air on your skin. You notice the resilience of a weed pushing through a crack in the pavement, a small, stubborn insistence on life. And in that, you see a reflection of yourself. This glimmer isn't a magical fix. The pain is still there, but it's no longer all-consuming. It's the first quiet realization that your story isn't over. The end of that chapter doesn't mean the end of the book. It's just a blank page, waiting. This is the moment of acceptance. The fall happened, it hurt, it still hurts. But you're still here. Now we rebuild. Not the old life, but a new one, brick by brick. Start small, really small. Your first step is to reclaim your routine. Not the 9-to-5 one, but a you-centric one. Wake up at the same time every day. Make your bed. Go for a walk. These aren't just chores. They're acts of self-respect. They tell your brain that you are in control. Next, reconnect. Not for networking, but for your soul. Call that friend you've been meaning to catch up with. Have coffee with a former colleague you actually liked. Remind yourself that your worth isn't tied to your job title. It's in your relationships. Then, get curious. What was it about your old job you genuinely loved? What did you hate? Write it down. Be brutally honest. This isn't about blaming anyone. It's about gathering data for your next move. Explore a hobby you dropped. Learn a skill you've always been curious about, not for your resume, but for you. This is the phase of rediscovery. You're not just looking for a new job. You're reintroducing yourself to yourself, outside the context of your career. Slowly, you start to see it. The fall wasn't just a fall. It was a course correction. Losing that job, which felt like the end of the world, actually broke you out of a box you didn't even realize you were in. The security you thought you had was an illusion. The real security is in your own adaptability, your own resilience. You've learned that your identity is not your profession. You are a mosaic of your passions, your relationships, your values, and your experiences, including this one. This pain has carved out a new depth in you, a new capacity for empathy. You look at the future now, not with the naive optimism of before, but with a quiet, grounded confidence. You know you can survive a fall. You know you can withstand the storm. The new dawn isn't about a perfect, shiny new job. It's this feeling right here, the calm strength of knowing that no matter what happens, you can find your feet. You can always begin again. If this story resonated with you, and you're navigating your own new beginning, remember you're not alone in this. There's a whole community of us learning to fly after the fall. Hit that subscribe button and join us. We'll be sharing more stories and practical steps to not just rebuild, but to build something even better. Thanks for being here. We'll see you in the next one.